Welcome to the Reckless Experience with Mark podcast with your host, Mark Vickery. This is a podcast about life, the show that brings you the know-how, the how-to, and the WTF. Each week, discussing daily life with interviews of people you really want to know. Now, here's your host, Mark Slick Vickery.
Welcome to the Reckless Experience with Mark. I'm your host, Mark Slick Vickery. Well, it is now Wednesday, and protesters still continue to occupy Ottawa, up by Parliament Hill. And honestly, they're going to be there a while because people are bringing them fuel and food. So you have to understand, the government would probably negotiate with you if there was reasonable terms. But demanding that they step down and completely lose the government or change the government and drop all mandates and everything to before COVID times, that's just insane. Just because you don't believe the science doesn't mean the rest of the world doesn't believe it either. Come on, I've been sick with it. So is my wife. We've lost people, family, friends to this virus. So I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks. We know it's real, and we need to take precautions. Whether it's a flu or a cold, either way, it's deadly. Period. So the blockades in Alberta, this has gotten out of hand. The RCMP tried to remove them from their illegal blockade. By the way, they're blocking their own brothers and sisters from doing their job. Truckers, pissing off truckers. Well, so you complain about the government dividing us as Canadians. What is it that you're doing that is different than what the government is doing? You are putting a wedge between your fellow Canadians. You're stopping goods flow to the U.S. and from the U.S. to Canada. You are taking food and money from people's mouths. And I'll tell you what, the amount of protesters Canada-wide that are doing this has no match for the people that want the mandates in place, that want this virus to be gone properly. So unless you want citizens to start fighting back, you might want to reconsider on how you're protesting. Because right now, they aren't protests. They're occupations. Okay? That does not work in a governed society. It's going to get your ass thrown in jail. So, personally, if I were in charge over there at the border, I'd be bringing in what I needed to, military, more RCMP, whatever. And I would start hooking up vehicles and equipment and basically repoing them, impound them, take those tractors. Those tractors are worth $100,000 plus. Those farmers can't afford to lose that shit. Start impounding that stuff. Start arresting people. You know what? That's the only way this is going to happen. The protesters want violence. They want to be physically removed from those sites. That's why they're doing it. They're not doing it to be Canada pride, to drop these mandates. If they were, they'd be smart about it. They're just pissing off other fellow Canadians. Like, seeing the other truckers that are stuck in the lineup, they're carrying produce and meats. Yeah, that's fine and dandy. They're in heated and cooled trailers. But once those reefer trailers run out of fuel, they're done. That product's gone. Garbage. So as it stands, a lot of the Alberta beef that you're so proud of as a Canadian and an Albertan is now sitting at the farms or the distribution centers because it has nowhere to go. So now you're affecting truckers and the everyday person that shops for those goods. But you're going to start affecting farmers. And I know the people that are there are truckers and farmers and welders and rig guys, whatever. But I'll tell you, it's going to backfire on you. And you're really going to get fucked. Like, not everybody can afford to wait for food. You might be able to, but Canada will stand up. And the true Canada pride will stand up and show you all what you're doing wrong. So besides the Alberta border and the Manitoba border, I haven't heard much about the Manitoba border, whether it be on social media or the news. So in Alberta, that's the big one. So now I have friends that live in Canmore and Banff area. They're setting up a blockade up there because a lot of truckers went through the Rockies to go down to the States. They bypassed the other blockade. So now they're starting to do that. It's only a matter of time before they start blocking every province border. So, you know, I just don't understand the mentality of this. This truckers pissing on the livelihoods of other truckers. It really doesn't make sense to me. So, as I said before, there is a lot of money. It's over 10 million now that the organizers have. I don't know if it's them paying for the fuel that's being brought up in jerry cans and snow removal equipment up to Ottawa. But I imagine, I would hope that they're supporting their cause with the money that good working Canadians are giving. I don't understand how they have so much donations, because Canada has already taken a hit. All of its residents have taken a hit financially. So for the average Joe that supports this protest, giving up their hard-earned money, whether it's $5, $50, $500, $5,000, it doesn't make sense. Keep that money. Feed your families. Pay your own bills. Don't let these people manipulate you into giving up your hard-earned money. Don't let these people manipulate you to give up your hard-earned money for their cause. The problem is every time, it doesn't matter what the topic is, when it comes to standing up for people's rights, you always get a number of followers that have absolutely no idea why they're following. They don't look into the details. They don't do their research. They just think it's the team theory, right? Yeah, let's go do it. Let's go do it. Let's fucking cover the government. Let's go destroy the government. We don't want a government. We don't want laws. Yeah, really. Yeah, take away the government. Take away the police. See how long that fucking lasts. You know those people that are doing the blockades and stuff? They're going to be the ones in charge. Why? Because they're aggressive. Some of them are racist. And a lot of them just have no fucking heart whatsoever. If they did, they wouldn't be taking food and money away from their brothers and sisters who are trying to make a living. What are we fighting for, people? Seriously, what are we fighting for? If you're going to piss on the livelihoods of your fellow brothers and sisters as truckers and farmers, what are we fighting for? Those two things are the lifeline of any society. Okay? We got a minimal amount of farms as it is. You want the government to step down and step away and stop taking over things? Well, I tell you what, if you fuck farmers out of their farms by affecting their livelihood, more and more of them are going to shut down. More of the big corporations are going to buy up those little farms. And you know what? You have an issue with big pharma and big box stores that take away the little guy. It works the same way in the farm. Northern Ontario, there's a couple of big family farms there that keep buying up the farms. They got like 100,000 acres in one family. That's just wrong, because now they manipulate the market. Now they charge 10 times as much for grain. What are you thinking? What do you think you're, oh yeah, we undercut the RCMP. They had no idea. We won, yeah. What, you drove a bunch of fucking tractors and trucks down the shoulders around a blockade? You know what? You deserve to go to jail. You deserve to have your equipment impounded. And I hope they do. They're handling you guys with fucking kid gloves right now. And this is just ridiculous. You think it's bad now? Wait till the truckers that don't want this fucking bullshit to happen stand up. Wait till the summertime when the weather's better. If they're still there, you're going to have issues not only with truckers, you're going to have issues with bikers. Some are going to support, some are going to be against. But I'll tell you, no one wants to lose their livelihood over a stupid protest. The Parliament Hill convoy, I totally get it. But the organizers didn't go about it the right way. I'm not saying my way is the right way, but I'm telling you, they need to go ahead with the negotiations properly. No demands. You can't go in, you can't go to anywhere. You can't go to a job, you can't go to a business, you can't go to a government, policing agency. You can't go anywhere and make demands. That does not work. You want a free country, but yet you're the ones blocking its citizens and making crazy demands. We all want this to fucking end. Trust me, after the amount of people gathering in all these places without masks, trust me, it ain't gonna end anytime soon now. This may have been a mild wave, but the next one may not. And there's gonna be a lot of upset Canadians when they start losing family members because of 2% of the population's carelessness. You're more concerned about the size of your protest than you are anything. Yeah, the biggest convoy, the biggest protest ever. Whatever. Who gives a shit? Women have been saying it for years. Size doesn't fucking matter. Well, in some cases it does, but not this case. We definitely need to revamp the way things are going now. The protesters need to understand that they can't bully anybody. They can't bully the government. They can't bully other citizens. This makes you a fucking moron. It makes you a piece of shit. You're gonna lose respect for that real quick. Your supporters are dwindling down. You know why most of the protesters left Monday and Tuesday from Parliament Hill? Well, first of all, it's fucking cold as shit out there. But second of all, probably the main reason is they have jobs and families. And they needed to work to make a living. Not everyone up there is getting paid by stealing donations from innocent Canadians. You definitely need to give your shake ahead there, protest organizers. You know what? I understand your cause. I really do. But really screwing over other Canadians? You're no better than the politicians that are doing it. You think you're doing good? You're just as bad as the government. You're probably worse. At least the government comes on the news and tells you how they're going to screw you. You're just surprising everybody. Going in dry. What the fuck? Come on, people. This isn't appropriate. You need to back off, revamp your plan of action, and do it properly. You have the political backing on your end. Now, I'm talking to the protest organizers. I've done my research. They have political backing. They know what their plan is. Do it properly. Get the votes. Go in there. Get your own party going and do it properly. But right now, you're no better than the government. You're really fucking everybody. And honestly, I was hesitant in the beginning to support this because I had a gut feeling. And now I'm really glad I didn't support it. I really am. You need to stop with the blockades and the occupations at the borders. Like I said, it's going to get worse before it gets better. But, I'm not in charge, so what's my opinion matter? So I had this episode recorded 2 or 3 times. I'll be honest with you. I've done this 2 or 3 times since Saturday. And I honestly can't decide whether or not I wanted to post it. I'm just so furious. And I'm partially furious with the government, but I'm mostly furious with the protests and the occupations at the border in Ottawa and soon to be in the Rockies. Like, this is ridiculous. I live on an island. It's not a small island, Vancouver Island, but we're already limited. Like, the citizens here lose their minds when the supply ferries potentially go on strike because we have no way of getting supplies here. And now when you fuck us by blocking the highway in the Rockies, yeah, you think it's bad now? It's going to get worse. And the more citizens you fuck over, the less support you're going to have. So I know more and more people are going to support you, and you're going to continually spew out on your forums and on your Facebook pages. You're going to continually spew out misinformation that the government's doing this, the government's forcing us, the government's responsible. And you're going to get a following on that because those people are ignorant to the cause. They have no idea what they're fighting for. They just believe you because they don't like the government. So they automatically believe you that you're telling the truth. Well, in actuality, you're the fucking morons parking your trucks and your cars and your tractors blocking the roads. You are the problem. It was bad enough with COVID. Why make it worse? A lot of the mandates and the restrictions were dropped off. They are working to get rid of them all. They're trying to help out the citizens. It doesn't matter what they do. There's always going to be a percentage of citizens that complain about how they do it or why they did it. So they're trying to follow the science. They're trying to do what's best for the health of our Canadians. And it's every country around the world doing the same. So some countries, Israel and Ireland and stuff like that, they're nothing new to protest there. Violent riots and protests. Okay? We don't have that here because we are Canadians. We have pride. We have responsibility. We have common sense. Not saying that their citizens don't, but they get really violent. Do we really want that kind of violence here? Violence never leads to anything good. This is why I'm anti-war, but at the same time, it's going to happen. I just don't believe in pissing off and attacking your fellow citizens. Hearing all these Facebook comments about, and then seeing it on the news to confirm it. Because see, I don't believe anything I hear on social media, Twitter or Facebook, because it's manipulatable, right? People can manipulate their images, their videos, their audio, and you can edit the video to make it look like it's a bad situation. I know, because I edit video and audio. I have for years. And trust me, you can manipulate your viewer into believing what you want them to believe. So if you go onto YouTube and you look at these drone videos and these videos that show the drones flying down the street, they're trying to show off the amount of protesters and trucks and stuff that are there. Well, if you look carefully, you'll see that they're going over the same sections over and over and over again. And if you look, some of those videos are edited to make it look like they're going longer. You'll see the same image pasted on. So only a select few are going to notice that. But I'm one of those select few. And that pisses me off because you're manipulating your viewers to believe something that isn't true. Yeah, there's a shitload of trucks up there and a shitload of protesters, but You're trying to promote the wrong thing here. You're trying to promote the bad stuff, and you don't want that. Like, there's protesters pissing off store owners. They're breaking windows, or they're going into businesses without masks, and they're calling people sheep and going, bah, bah, you're fucking sheep because you're wearing a mask. Take that stupid mask off. I'm not fucking wearing a mask. I have rights. I have freedom. And demanding that they serve them. Well, they don't have to serve you. And because of that, they're closing their doors for their staff, their patrons, and their safety. So you just fucked another business owner out of making an income that's already having a hard time. I work at this point, because I work at the resort, I work in the travel industry. And I tell you what, we're bent over taking it up the ass, because we're steady here and there, but it's not happening. Like this week, I guarantee it's because of the blockades and the protests and all the bullshit. Things are opened up again, but we're closed. We're closed for like a week because there's no business. So now I'm angry because you're fucking with my livelihood. And then I look around and I realize everybody's in the same situation because of the protesters and these blockades. You just can't. People, support the cause, but don't wear beer goggles and not see the big picture here. You need to see the big picture. If you want change, you have to go to vote. We got fucked with the last voting because people didn't vote. And part of that had to do with COVID, yes. But there was lots of options. If you don't know how to vote, or you don't understand what each of the politician things are, there's lots of YouTube videos of people honestly explaining what party is what and what they do and what they bring and their history. There's lots there. I've looked. Do your research. Stop being that 2% that follow the next big thing, or you are going to be under the control of evil people. This is how it begins. You know, Hitler, and yeah, I'm going to talk about this because you guys seem to be comparing, well, not you guys, not my listeners, at least not that I know of, the protesters and the people that are anti-government. You're comparing this COVID mandate stuff to the Jews and Hitler. Hitler started out with a plan. He got everybody on his side. He manipulated people. He led people to believe government was bad, he was good. He got everybody he could to support him. And then what did he do? He became this evil. I can't even call him a monster. He's beyond that. He became evil. And he pretty much destroyed the world. Like, the world went to war over this bullshit. You know what? You may not be worried about your life, but you should be worried about your children's lives. Your children's lives, your grandchildren's lives. Because what we do today is going to affect them. If we allow any group to control our daily living that isn't a governed society or a government group, we can't do anything about it. Do you see where I'm going with this? So, with a government, we can get involved as people. And enough of us, we can legally have the government removed or replaced in certain situations if they're evil or doing very bad things. There's a constitution there, okay? So, I mean, there's always a procedure for something. You need to pick the best party that's for the people. Don't say, oh, there was no good choices. Oh, well, really? How is there no good choices? You need to pick one. Take a chance. Because you know what? If you don't, the same people are going to vote for the same bullshit government parties that keep screwing us Canadians over. Think about it. Now, if you get a party like these organizers want, and they take over, think about how selfish they've been up to this point. Think about how selfish they've been and how aggressive they've been. Do you want a government in control that's aggressive and that takes advantage of its citizens and manipulates them? I mean, we have those problems now in a minor altitude. Now you got this max altitude of manipulators and racists and aggressors. We don't want this in our society. You know, I have a wide circle of acquaintances and friends, and some of them I stay clear of. They are good people when they want to be, but I will tell you that sometimes I stay clear of certain ones because of the way they act and the way they are. I'm not there to change them and dictate how they live their lives, but I don't agree with their ways. So I see people on my Facebook page. I'm going to say it's about 10% of my friends and acquaintances on my Facebook personal page are posting protest stuff. That's great. You know, I see a select few. They're just proud Canadians and they show the picture of a Canadian flag on their vehicle. Great. Don't turn your flag upside down. Don't paint stuff on it. Don't put fuck Trudeau on the Canadian flag. I have extreme pride, and that's just ignorant to do that. Don't. You want to be a proud Canadian? Then be a proud Canadian. Don't be a douche knuckle and defacing your Canadian flag. If you have issues with the government, like I said many times, get off your ass, climb out of your parents' basement, whatever, go vote. Stop this bullshit. Because I tell you what, a civil war in a country can happen very easily. And you think it's bad now? You turn the citizens against one another. Especially the citizens that are doing the occupations and the protests now. A lot of them are aggressive. And they're not afraid to hurt people or damage property. Just wait. You'll see. Don't believe me? Wait and see. It's going to happen. This is not going to end peacefully. They never do when they get this far. And then you're going to split yourselves up. So the protesters are the ones dividing the people now, not the government. The government's just trying to keep people safe and keep the goods flowing and keep businesses open. If you don't believe that that's their intentions, then you're out of your mind. They need businesses open. They need people working and paying tax dollars. This country will die if they don't. Okay? Don't believe the conspiracy crap you read on the internet. It's all fucking bullshit. People have watched too many movies. They think there's government agencies looking to fuck everybody. Like, it's not like that. You know, you see these whistleblowers that come out. Sometimes these whistleblowers, and it's been proven, are paid a shitload of money to do that. The one lady scientist that came out in the first year there and claimed that you don't hear much about it. She worked for Pfizer, and she came out and said that it's all fake. It's a fake virus. It turned out she was paid like $22 million to do that. What would you do for $20 million? I'd probably do it too. So think about it. That's how it works. And some of these protesters are paid. They're paid by dirty politicians or people with money that want to make a change, but they're doing it the wrong way. You can't be aggressive. And like I said time and time again, You can't divide and screw over your brothers and sisters and your fellow Canadians. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. So when you get online and you're reading these conspiracy videos and posts and stuff that they're, oh, they did this, they did that. Oh, the photographer that took all the bad pictures is Trudeau's personal photographer. I know because I know him. That's what I read on the post. I was like, really? You know his personal photographer? And he told you that he's taking these pictures? Yeah, sure you do. Sure it's him. Honestly, it's bullshit. I've done the whole crowd control thing, working security. I've done the undercover thing, working in the industry. A lot of it's made up and manipulative. That's how they get what they want. They manipulate. So like I said, I can edit a video, make me look like I'm a newscaster, and I can post news, and I can make it look just like the CTV news screen. And I can post that on Facebook. I can even make the existing news anchor on there and make it look like they're saying something else and show images. So you got to remember that. Things on the internet, you got to be careful of what you believe. It's not always greener on the other side of the fence. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to keep recording this episode. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm extremely angry. I'm not going to edit this episode. I'm going to put the intro and the outro on it, and I'm going to put some music in the background. But otherwise, I'm not going to edit all my ums and spaces. To me, I don't believe the attention is worthwhile to me for these protesters. But I'm passing on information to my fellow Canadians, friends, family, acquaintances, people I don't know, to do their research. Understand what you're supporting. The mob mentality doesn't get things done. It creates chaos and destruction. Trust me, if you want things to get worse, keep going. Because the more blockades and the more disruptions they do, it's going to be harder for us to survive and live. Right? The first wave, everybody panic bought toilet paper and food and water and whatever. Yeah? You're not going to be able to do that because the store shelves are going to be empty. People are going to starve to death. And if you think I'm over exaggerating, keep supporting them and you're going to see. They need to unoccupy these border crossings and let the goods flow. Stay up in Parliament Hill, but move up on Parliament Hill. Stop blowing your air horns all night long. And you know what? For those of you that don't know what a big rig sounds like when it's at idle, drive through a truck stop at night or even during the day. I mean, they sleep during the day there too. Drive through a truck stop. Drive through the back where all the trucks are. And just hear that hum from a dozen big rigs. Could you imagine if you lived downtown Ottawa? And there is people that live down there, and they're furious. Imagine hearing that. They're paying top dollar to rent down there, probably barely making ends meet as it is, because they work downtown, and their businesses are closed now for safety. So think about how pissed off they are and how upset they are. They're probably afraid to go out because of the assaults that are happening or the fear of assaults happening. So you have to understand it's not all about one person or you or me. You have to have care for other people. So anyways, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for listening. The Reckless Experience with Mark. I'm your host, Mark Slick Vickery. If you have any comments, please feel free to post up on my Facebook page. You can private message me if you want. And let me know what you think. Let me know your opinion. Be safe. Be kind. Just don't be a twat. Okay? I hope everybody's stays safe and we can get past this crazy moment in history.
Thanks for joining us this week on The Reckless Experience with Mark. Be sure to visit our website at www.recklessexperience.com, where you can subscribe so you'll never miss a show. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. And be sure to tune in next week for our next episode, The Know-How, The How-To, and the WTF.